is Rabbi Yehoshua Fass. He is the co-founder and executive director of Nefesh B'Nefesh, a nonprofit organization that promotes, encourages, and facilitates Aliyah from the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. Welcome, Rabbi Fass. Rabbi Fass, I've been living in New York for almost 5 years now, and in particular, over the last 2 years, I've been hearing for so many, first Israeli expats, but also American Jews, that they're either planning Aliyah or just contemplating the idea, waiting for the right moment to arrive. I'm also hearing about many people moving to Florida, but that's a whole different story. I know you don't do that.
It's a new organization that we're starting.
It's a different organization. So tell us, how many Olim have you helped so far? And what are the trends that you've experienced as of lately?
Okay, we've had the distinct privilege and pleasure of helping over 75,000 North Americans move to Israel. We're equally proud that our retention rate is over 92, 93% of those who've made Aliyah. And on top of that, the natural growth has been over 25, 30,000 babies and grandchildren over these last years. So it's an ecosystem.
For the, yeah.
Exactly, about like 100,000 people.
That's incredible. So what about the trends? Are these families, young people?
So if you would have asked me 2 years ago before Corona, I would have said that the biggest trend that we were marking was a younger population. Those who finished college or had a birthright experience, who were looking for a fulfillment of identity, of connecting to Israel because of opportunity. And some of the essays were fascinating. Instead of being number 4,000 for an interview in Google, I'll be number 40 and I'll go to Tel Aviv. So the opportunity that was speaking was remarkable. But during Corona, things shifted. And we saw an incredible spike in interest, and it actualized within numbers. We had a 30% increase of Aliyah last year. And I think Corona did three things. Number one, it opened up this whole possibility of remote work. The ability to work from home removed a huge obstacle for people who are thinking about moving to Israel. The second is just your connectivity to family. For 2 years, we were all trying to find a way of connecting to our parents, our siblings, our grandparents. And now people can think, you know what, I can Zoom, I can connect. There's a way of viscerally connecting to family members even though I might not be in a proximal setting. And the third, it allowed people to pause and to reflect on their own identity. A lot of times we are so fused with our synagogues, temples, federations that we don't have ability to step back and reflect. And that forced people 2 years being in their homes to ask what their own trajectory was and what they wanted to do with their lives.
I very much agree with number 3, because these are the conversations that I've had with people contemplating Aliyah or taking the move, people that I never thought would have done it, and they did it. To what extent has the Israeli government been helpful in the Aliyah process, and what do you think can be done better on behalf of the state?
You just had a panel here of remarkable people and remarkable organizations. You have the Jewish Agency, our dear partner, Ministry of Immigration and Absorption. They're working around the clock to fulfill the dreams of many, many, and thousands and 10,000s of people who want to make Aliyah.
But even around the clock cannot beat some of the bureaucracy.
Correct. There is a trend within the government now, within the different ministries, of thinking out of the box, thinking creatively, wanting to leverage the talents of the Olim who are moving to Israel so that they can hit the ground running. And we see that even just in the example that we gave with Ulpan for pre-med. And there are many, many different examples. But the bureaucracy, and that's not with our dear friends who are sitting here, but really with the Ministry of Interior, can be reduced and can be accelerated. And if you have an orientation that every single Ola is a gem, is a diamond, that they just get it. They understand that the destiny of the Jewish people is in Israel. And if the government of Israel understands that, then they'll handle those gems and those diamonds very differently.
I want to ask you what I asked Ro'i, because what you're saying now is exactly what he just talked about on the stage. How do you make the Israeli population more aware of what you just said, that every ole is a gem?
So
Do we take it for granted? I'm Israeli, so I speak by plural. But
we do, and I think we have to put a magnifying glass over the accomplishments of the Olim and how they are thriving and contributing to Israeli society. We started 7 years ago this concept of the Bonei Tzion Prize, and highlighting on just the Anglo community of just their impact and their influence, just so that we can educate the Israeli community and the Israeli public that Olim are making a huge difference in Israeli society. So if we can do that with other sectors, with other Olim, with our dear partners, I think that will slowly change just the appreciation and acknowledgement of what Olim and Aliyah is today.
Rabbi Yehoshua Fass, thank you so much for
My
what
pleasure.
you're doing.
Thank you.